Hello everyone, this is Kara Hart for the Red River Farm Network for this Pioneer Agronomy Update. Joining me is Pioneer Field Agronomist Jesse Mock. Jesse, we are near Hunter, North Dakota, checking out the sunflower fields as you can see behind us. And I know it's been a late planting season for a lot of folks, and we're just finally now getting to bloom. Let's talk a little bit about where this crop is sitting here.
Yeah, we're finally getting to bloom in a lot of places, and there's actually still quite a few fields that have yet to reach that. So, maturity starts to become a concern. Most hybrids, when you get to mid-bloom, you're still probably 35-40 days from physiological maturity. So we've got a ways to go, but I am really excited about this sunflower crop. It looks good, and there's definitely some potential out there.
Well, I know it's a very versatile kind of crop, so it's good for a lot of growing seasons, just like the one we've had this year.
Yeah, it's perfect. We got into late planting, which sunflowers can handle, and then we went through a lot of places along dry stretch, and obviously that's a strong suit of sunflowers also. So the kind of way we're setting up in the stands we got, the ability of the sunflower to reach down and grab that water. I would say out of any crop we have, I think that might maybe be our best yield potential crop out there this year.
So with all the different kinds of weather we've been having, I know in some areas it's been dry, other areas it's been pretty consistently wet and moving. Are we seeing any disease or insect pressure in these sunflowers?
So sunflowers as a whole, disease has been pretty limited this year. We have been seeing some insect pressure. I was going to show you guys here real quick. This one actually was treated for red sunflower weevil about a week ago, but that's kind of been our main insect this year. So the red sunflower weevil, you kind of scout, right before bloom, heading into bloom, and up to, about 70% flower. And, we were seeing in the levels of anywhere from 3 to 10 per head. Your thresholds, maybe on oils is at 3 to 5. But I was going to show you here real quick how we scout for them for people that are just getting into sunflowers or it's new to them. So
yeah, that'd be great. Take us to a sunflower where you would normally start to see this kind of pest, and walk us through what you do to check.
Yeah, so red sunflower weevils, I generally start scouting closer to a stage like this. But when we get to that kind of 0 to 5 to 10% bloom, some of the most popular places I look are heads that are just beginning to flower. You can see in here just the outer ring of seeds, the florets are going there. But simply it's pretty easy. Obviously, anytime you scout sunflowers, your handy dandy tool of bug spray with DEET, you're spraying that flower head. We weren't able to find any in here earlier, but you kind of give it 5 to 10 seconds, and you'll notice a little orange weevil start to come out. They don't like the DEET, so they'll move a little bit. They'll come out of this outer ring of the head. They'll also like to hang out in between these bracts here, and they'll start to come out. But within usually 10 seconds of that spray, you usually get a good count on them, and then you want to do that 4 or 5 different places throughout the field to get a good handle on it. And then as far as treating them, once you reach your thresholds, when can you stop scouting? When most of your field is in that 60 to 70% flowering range. You can see this particular head here is probably in that 70% range. Then you're kind of past that window of treatment for red sunflower weevils. But that's kind of the tricks of what we use when we do scout for them.
Well, and remind us one more time the threshold for this kind of pest.
They're a little different between confections and oils and prices. The price of treatment for insecticides is rather cheap, so we're usually in that 3 to 5 range depending on your price. For oils, it can be less for confections, because what they'll do is they're going to lay their larvae in there, they're going to bore into the seed, and they'll generally consume half to a third of that seed itself within there.
So ultimately it affects yield, bottom line here.
Yeah, yep, yield and then quality, especially on the confection side.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else we should know about the sunflower crop here in the north that you want folks to know, maybe that are getting ready to see bloom or going through bloom, or maybe a little further along than this field here?
Yeah, I think it's really important that we watch our late flowering ones. A lot of fields are kind of in this stage, but there's a group that still is just starting to flower. Those insects get attracted to those fields. You're really going to want to keep an eye on those for the next few weeks.
All right. Thank you. And I know we also, it's not only the sunflowers that are doing their thing, we've got a whole bunch of other crops up here in the Dakotas. Definitely some corn that's moving along too, but that was also a little bit late. And you've got some varieties to look at here. Can we pull up a corn cob and let's talk a little bit more about
for sure.
What's going on here with the corn?
So when I look at, corn you know, this part of the season, you know, what's most concerning to me, we're through a lot of the insect window, the disease window applications for doing anything like that. Our corn has a ways to go, so I'm sitting there ranking, am I more worried about getting more moisture or heat? And at this point, I'm getting a little bit more worried about more heat. So typically about this time of year, we want to be kind of beginning dent. This particular one here, I just pulled here not too long ago, is an 84-day hybrid. It's got an 80-day silk, so it's a little bit earlier, planted May 20th. You can see it's about right where we want to be. Beginning dent, some of those kernels are just starting to dent, and then we'll work through full dent. So, you know, our corn at this stage, we're still going to need September 7th to 10th. I think 80% of our crop we're going to need till September 15th, and then the GDUs to go along with that, because at this stage, we'll still need 300 plus GDUs to get the black layer on this. What's kind of concerning to me is, you know, there's 15 to maybe 10% of our crop that's closer to looking like this, you know, so when we're just getting past blister into milk, and this corn has a long ways to go. You know, we need a lot of heat units. You know, you're still probably looking to need 500 heat units on this, and unfortunately for us up here in the north, once we get through August into September, you know, if you take from now to the end of September, on a good year we might catch another 500. So concerned about maturity, keep an eye on it. I think there's a good chance, you know, majority of our crop will get the black layer. Will we have the drying time behind that? I don't know, but it's definitely a concern, you know, kind of leading into this fall.
Well, a lot of folks have been wondering, of course, about that frost date, and that's what you're hinting at here. How soon are we going to see a frost in the north?
Exactly. You know, the 15-day forecast looking out, I just looked this morning, there's about 300 GDUs in that, you know, when we look towards the end of the month, so that's pretty good. That's probably a little bit above normal. It's going to be that first half of September. Can we capture and stay warm? That's going to be really key for us to finish this crop.
Jesse, is there anything else we should know about the crop that's growing up here in this Hunter, North Dakota area? Anything else you want to say?
No, I think we have a pretty good crop coming. We still got a good ways to finish. That's kind of good at that time of year. We'll just go through grain film and hopefully we'll have a good harvest ahead of us.
Well, once again, we've been visiting with Pioneer Field Agronomist Jesse Mock here on this Pioneer Agronomy update on the Red River Farm Network. I'm Kara Hart. Thanks for joining us today.